And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Can anybody believe it's Monday once again? June the 5th. 6:30 this morning as we begin this together. 67 right now, and you guessed it, there's rain chances this afternoon. After 3 o'clock, they've pushed it an hour. Started out at about 2. Now they're saying that 3 o'clock onward toward dark 30, we could have some showers. Overnight, we did have some sprinkles, so be careful. The streets are a little wet this morning as you get ready to leave home. In most cases, I think all schools are basically out. There could be some that may have a little bit of something happening, but I think for the most part, aren't they out, Odie? Schools, isn't that all out at this point? Yeah. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about school buses at this point. Be careful as you go about your way this morning. A lot that we're working on for the morning show today as we're putting the show together. It kicks off at 7 this morning. We want you to be a part of it. Lots to talk about what happened over the weekend. Boy, it's a blur. It was so quick. It's like you get off on Friday evening, and next thing you know, the alarm clock's going off, and back to work you got to go. We say good morning to Miss Ann Jenkins. She's joining us from Hilton Head, South Carolina this morning. Way to go. We appreciate that so much. Mike Dallas, good morning to you. Also, Lisa Smith, how are you feeling today? Sylvia Stewart, I see you. Miss Janice Bounds, and so many of the others joining us for the broadcast. Let's go to Collinsville now and get a good word to start the day. See what Brother Ben has for us there from the First Baptist Church.
Do you have faith in God? Well, I have folks, when I'm sharing Jesus with them, sometimes tell me, I believe in God, but that's not what I'm asking. The book of James in chapter 2 tells us that even the demons believe in God and fear Him, but they don't have faith in Him. You see, according to James 2, if a person really has faith, they'll act on that faith through godly actions. If they really have faith, they'll live in light of that faith and do what that faith calls them to do. That's why the Holy Spirit says in James 2 that faith without works is useless and dead. You see, our good works, our godly actions are the fruit of our faith. They indicate whether our faith is real. And a real faith leads to righteous fruit. So you may believe in God. Most folks do. But do you have faith in God? The fruit of your life will tell you the answer. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Big thank you to Brother Ben. Again, don't forget church services coming up on Wednesday afternoon or evening. That's a better way to word it, isn't it? Jerome Lee, good morning there. Orange Park, Florida. Mike Stewart, how are you this morning? Also, we see that Adele Clark is watching. Morning to you. Hickory joining in also there. Question about Kemper County. Yes, all power is back up and going. There was a problem last night with TVA. Possibility of a snake being involved in a shortage. EMEPA really hustled to get the power back on it. At one point, it was up to a little over 3,000 people starting at NAS Forward that were without power last night. I was in constant contact with them as they tracked that down. Got to confirm that it was a snake. But that's what I'm hearing. Got up on a transformer and shut everything down at a major that distributed the power. I'm thinking that tastes like chicken at this point. It probably didn't work out too well for that fella. We'll find out more about that. Did you hear yesterday of the private airplane that crashed near Washington and landed in the woods south of there? But it was an alert that went out. Airspace being, turns out it was. I would call it a wealthy family if you have a private jet. And the sad part about this is they lost another daughter years ago. They lost their daughter and granddaughter in this. Is most likely being speculated at this point. The cabin lost pressure. Do y'all remember that about 20 years ago of the plane where everybody was knocked unconscious and the plane went down? That is what is thought at this point. Not 100% confirmed, but we do know that a family lost their daughter and granddaughter in this, and of course all the pilots that were on board. A sad, sad day for that family. Keep them in your thoughts. That is. I was talking to Odie about this, a family in Texas, and there is so much more when you get a story that breaks that you don't know. But a family of 5 was getting out to go to their apartment complex. The mom opens the door. Gunfire erupts. She's hit. She runs toward the apartment door. 3 kids in the car and the dad are also wounded. The mother would die at the scene. Now, the police there in Texas aren't saying 16 miles south of Dallas is where this happened. It was brought up to the police. Should the community be concerned? They don't know. So, yes, if you live in the Dallas area, it's somebody that could strike again. But if you were to be betting odds, this sounds almost like if it were a personal vendetta, is what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like something that would happen just out of the blue. We don't know why or what, but that is something that did happen yesterday as we look across the United States. P. Diddy, anybody know him? Well, his son's in trouble this morning. 29-year-old DUI last night. Beverly Hills is where it happened. And no, I can't name any Puff Daddy music. Or P. Diddy. Didn't he change it to P. Diddy from Puff Daddy? Puff.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Only thing I know is Puff the Magic Dragon.
That's not my name.
Yeah. And then after I found out what Puff the Magic Dragon was about, it broke my heart. Really? I mean, Puff the Magic Dragon. Who would have known? Those 60s hippies. We'll leave it at that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google that. I can't break everybody's heart at once. Oh, boy, oh, boy. As we look around this morning, we also see that arson investigation underway in Los Angeles. Within 2 years, a church has been damaged by an arsonist. A church. I'm just glad that there's a church there, aren't you? Need more of them, I'm afraid. Another thing that people are telling us to look out for as we get over this pandemic, this has been going on for what now, since 3 years? 2020 is when all that started. And, of course, as people went back to work this last year in 22, everybody was sick. You got anything because you hadn't been around anybody. So anybody that had a cold, it made it extra worse, and your immune system was just down. They're warning now, be ready as summer kicks off. More people are going to be out this summer than in the last 3 years. Ticks, mosquitoes, it could cause issues for you. So be ready for that. That's the next thing as we look at what's going on across America this morning. Let's see here. A teen was shot in Pennsylvania over the weekend after he allegedly rammed troopers' cars. He was shot and taken out. More details to follow on that. Also, it's a snapshot of what happened over the weekend across America. We've got a lot that's gone on locally. We're going to tell you all about that coming up at 7, so don't go anywhere. We want you to come back in roughly a few minutes from now. Less than 15 minutes, we'll be firing off the new morning show, and we want you to be a part of that. We'll be right back with more information.
No matter how many times you try, and no matter where you call, Representative 81 Steve Horn won't answer the phone. We're not getting any representation in Jackson. District 81, we can do better. Vote Ben Shirley, August the 8th. Paid for by Ben Shirley.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back for our record highs and record lows, everything is fine this morning as we go back to 2011. It was a hot day, 100 degrees. Can y'all believe that? 1954, we would set the low record of 50 degrees on this morning. Burr. Okay, maybe it didn't a burr, but I bet it felt good. 50 degrees. As we look at the forecast for today, rain is in the forecast. 91 is all we're going to get. As you'll see, we've got rain forecasted for the Meridian area and south, a little bit heavier when you get to Jones County. In the Laurel, Hattiesburg area, rain intensity will pick up, but do expect showers of about 40% chance after 3 o'clock from here all the way towards Stark, Vegas, and Columbus Air Force Base. Going to be a wet one even back over toward Jackson. As we look east, the Demopolis, Tuscaloosa, Jasper County area will see rain. As you get east of there toward Birmingham, it'll be lighter rain. 90 degrees in Birmingham, and the further east you go, about 88 there in Anniston, Alabama. Auburn, over there where the big trees are, 86 today. Now, as we look across this, kind of still normal in our area, a tad bit on the cooler side as we'll look at this over the next few mornings there, as we have a little bit of a cool front. South Texas is hot. If you don't trust me, drive down there. It's blazing hot, as always, in Texas. As we look at our 7-day forecast brought to you by our friends at Wilson Saw and Outdoor Power, 90 is what we'll get, 90 to 91, depending upon where you're sitting today. My radar system bumps it up 10 degrees, 10% chance. We're saying 50% chance, a little bit more than the National Weather Service. Either way, rain is coming. As we look to tomorrow, 40% chance, 88 for that high. And as the week progresses, look at this. There's rain chances every day. Now, I don't think it's going to be heavy flooding to where you can't mow grass. We'll have sunshine for parts that's drying out each day, but afternoon showers is always a chance there, especially not good news for you if you're a roofer. That never works out well. As we look at the extended forecast, let's go back up on this as I touch too many buttons. What is going on with me today? 87 as we look to the 12th, all the way down to the 19th of June. I'm really pushing this month, aren't I? Look at this, 96. Anybody believe that? The 17th, 18th, and 19th, 96 degrees. That means summer is officially here, whether the calendar says it or not. Boy, howdy. Now, as we look at this again, the tropics, as you saw a quick look at that, absolutely nothing going on. We did have that little thing going on this weekend in the Gulf. It's gone away now. All is clear this morning. As we look to this, we are now into officially the hurricane season. As we look at our fishing forecast today, looks like a major time is going to be 2:30 this afternoon until about 4:30. You'll have to leave work early to get that favorite fishing hole just right. Now, the wind's going to be calm, becoming east-southeast around 5 miles an hour this morning. So that's a quick look at your forecast and what is coming. Odie is ready, and as LaWanda calls it, summertime showers. The mosquitoes are already horrible, Terry says. They are. If you've walked outside, and I know a lot of you will remember this, and I can see the smirk on Odie's face. Do you remember that little guy? I remember growing up in downtown Scuba, Mississippi, and once a week, Mr. Jesse would put it on the back of the town truck and turn the mosquito sprayer on and drive around. All the kids would chase it.
Yeah. It's sticky and everything.
No one ever passed away from it or got hurt, but nowadays you wouldn't do that. But we did that as kids. We admit that.
Oh, yeah.
You could smell that a country mile after they passed through. Do they even still do that anymore?
Yeah.
They do? Okay. Learning as I go here. Morning to you. Now, we're going to be back in roughly 10 minutes. We'll hit the live button and go on at 7 on television as well as here on Facebook. Now, you can interact with us if this is your first time joining us. Be a part of the show. It all gets underway at 7 a.m. bright and early this morning as we'll give you the lowdown what went on through our communities throughout the area. Won't you join us? We'll see you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: